Let's be honest, editing a full wedding can be overwhelming, especially for new photographers. But after shooting destination weddings for over 13 years, so since 2012, I refined my workflow that's fast, efficient, and keeps quality high. I'm Magic, I'm a destination wedding photographer, Sony Europe ambassador, and in this video, I'm gonna take you step by step through my entire process, from backup to delivery. And also, I wanna share with you my ideas for automations using new tools and devices at the end of that video. So first thing I do after a wedding, I back up all the files immediately. I personally work on dual camera setup, and both of my cameras are equipped with dual memory cards. So I record all the photos on both of my sets of my cards simultaneously. So both of the cards, each camera have the same set of photos. So I kind of already have some sort of backup of my photos, but I do like to make one more copy straight to my computer, especially when I'm traveling, especially when I'm at destination weddings. A huge part of my fast workflow, so how to do things fast, is import speed. So over the years, I've tested multiple solutions, multiple different memory cards, and especially nowadays with Sony cameras that I shoot, they can use CF Type A card. And finding the fastest possible way to offload these photos has become my personal mission, actually. I've created multiple memory card guides for different cameras. You can find them on my channel. But here's the bottom line. Read speed is the most important. This is the king when we're talking about offloading your photos. Recently, we've seen a huge new wave of a new high-speed CF Type A cards. I tested the Angelbird cards with their dedicated reader, and while the card is really fast, the reader kind of bottlenecks the speed. I talk about it in a review video, meaning you don't get a full potential of the card with the reader that is kind of meant to be for that card, which is a bit bummer because it's a great design. So I kept searching and I ended up getting the OWC reader, which technically is designed for CF Type B cards, but comes with adapter for CF Type A cards. And let me tell you, this thing unleashes the beast. Both the OWC Atlas Pro cards or the fastest Angelbird cards, they hit the read above 1000 megabytes per second compared to half of that speed with Angelbird reader. And in real world use, this means my full wedding import. So this is around 8,000 photos, raw photos from A9 Mark IIIs. That's 280 gigabytes that I took one of my recent weddings as an example. It took 4 minutes. 4 minutes to copy with OWC reader, which is insane speed. But to achieve this kind of speed, every element in your import process needs to be fast. Like the card needs to be fast, the reader needs to be fast, and the hard drive you're copying your files onto needs to be fast. So when I have my copy on my computer, I come back home, I make one more copy to my archive system, which is my stationary archive system, so I can clear the memory cards. And now, check this out. When it comes to on-site backup, we actually have a new king in town. You might have seen that already because I've been seeing that for a while now. This is the UnifyDrive UT2, and this Kickstarter funded portable NAS system is literally a game changer for photographers who need a reliable backup system in the field. Quick disclaimer, UnifyDrive sent this out to me and sponsored this segment of the video, but I'll be doing a full review of that unit after I test it out in multiple different occasions because there's a lot to unpack, so stay tuned for a full review. But for now, I do want to highlight why this might be the ultimate on-site backup solution, because this, unlike traditional hard drives or SSDs, the UT2 is a NAS, which is network attached storage, with its own operating system. So it's like a mini computer, mobile computer built for redundant file storage without needing an internet connection or laptop to run it and to back up your files. And what is game-changing about it for wedding folks like we are, it's first of all, true on-site backup. So just pop in your card. It has a memory card reader for both CF Type B, A, through adapter, and SD cards. And you just double click here and boom, the backup is done. The UT2 automatically copies your files, no computer needed. Then you have dual NVMe SSD hard drives inside this unit. So you can install 2 drives, which means you can configure them in a RAID 1 setup for redundancy, right? You have extra layer of security. You already have 2 more copies of your files on the go. Then we have versatile connectivity. We have USB-C and USB-A ports to connect external devices. You have 2.5 gig Ethernet port for fast data transfer if you want to connect through the cable to the internet, and then you have HDMI output for playing your content on TV. This thing has it all. You can control entire operating system with your phone. You can sync everything to cloud storage. Like, there's a lot. So as you can see, tons of functionality. My first impressions are this is really great, and after seeing a Sam Hurd reel about it, I was really excited to test it out. So thanks UnifyDrive for sponsoring this video. Check the link in the description if you want to order yours today, and stay tuned for a full review in upcoming weeks. So if I have my photos copied and backed up, now I need to make a selection. And here's the thing, because I've been doing this for so long, over 13 years now, I'm really good at manual calling. I am a 1-0 guy. I call my photos in. I just pick the photos I want and skip the ones I don't want. And what's crucial for me is to call my images pre-editing and pre-importing to Lightroom. I want to call them before I import everything because I don't want the whole process of importing take a time for entire set. I want to import only the things I want to edit later. So for the manual calling, I use 2 programs. One is very popular program called Photo Mechanic for simple photo shoots, engagement sessions, and actually various like random projects. And for big weddings, for regular weddings, I use Narrative Select, which I highly recommend. It has this preview of the faces, and like it's really great for like manual calling. And it does have a free plan, so that's awesome. And going over 1,000 images takes me around 1+ hour. So I am really fast, and I go one by one by one by one. I just go. For AI calling, I did try Imagine AI Calling, which has this great feature of letting you call your images with your look and edit already applied, so you see your photos edited when you go through them. It does tag your images in a way you choose, so it tags the best shots or duplicates any unique shots, and you can obviously choose how it will mark these photos. What I like about it is that when reviewing the images, it only shows you the best photos from a cluster of images, and then when you hover over the image, it will reveal the duplicates so we can go over by them. But again, because of how I'm used to my manual calling and how fast I am with this, it does take me much less time going over image by image manually than reviewing any AI calling. I would need to retrain my brain, kind of, you know what I mean, to use AI calling, because I still want to review and have control over the entire set I deliver. I have also played around with the beta version of the Epic Workflow app. This is made by Sam Hurd, which I mentioned before, and it has the Culling model trained on his personal photos. And what is really cool, it does give you text explanation why it chooses certain photos over the others, which I think is a great tool. If you want to try any of these AI calling tools, I'll link them all in the description below, including Sam's workflow, which is available for testing through his Patreon. I know AI calling can massively speed up the process, and especially for those of you who really struggle with calling, and I know many photographers that do, I do actually recommend give it a go and see how it works for you. After calling, I do separate my images in the folder. So I have folder with my entire raw collection, and then I have folder with my picked images, so called images. And that folder with the called images is what I import to Lightroom. Key factors to keep my Lightroom edit fast that I'm going to talk about now is going to be import right previews, use AI for initial edit, manual tweak edit using a console, and then export. I have an entire separate video talking about the process and how to make Lightroom faster, how to understand previews. So again, I'm going to link that in the description. But just to give you an overview now, upon importing, I build smart previews for faster editing and to be able to send my photos for AI editing. editing process for me looks like this. First, I send the catalog with imported photos to Imagine AI. So this is the same app that I mentioned for AI Culling. Imagine learns how you edit your photos by analyzing your Lightroom catalog. You need to build your own profile, and then it does edit for you. So I personally have my profile trained on over 15,000 images. I use that profile to get my photos edited automatically. And this is what I call initial edit. So I use Imagine, it edits like I would edit. And it takes around 10 to 15 minutes to go over 1,000 photos and to have them back in my Lightroom. So this is a game changer. But still, this is not the end of the process for me because I do manual review after that. And depending on the type of the wedding and the light that I was working on the day, the images edited by Imagine are going to be 80 to 90% there. And now I go image after image and make tweaks and final adjustments. For those of you who want to try Imagine, there's a link for a free trial, 1,500 photos for free. You can edit, you can try it out, you can build your profile and see how it works for you. You can also purchase my profile, my presets, my editing course. I'm going to link everything in the description for those of you who want a shortcut. For the manual editing, I use Logitech MX Creative Console that I've set up for my one hand on the mouse and one hand on the console operation, and it works great. It does take me around 1 to 2 hours to go over the entire set, and I'm done. And the crucial part here, with editing the entire set, is to edit it in one sitting with minimal distractions and breaks, if possible, because that helps to keep my edit consistent. If I spread out the edit across multiple days, I might start changing images I already edited previous day because I have a different mood. I'd like them warmer or something. So for me, crucial is to just go one sit, edit, boom, done. And the next step will be going over the entire edited set to color tag the photos for the highlight scene for my gallery that I'm going to deliver my photos in and for the slideshow. So I'm going to pick my favorite photos from the entire set now. And I used to do it after exporting and before uploading to gallery, but to make the entire process faster and to be able to actually have the selection in Lightroom, it's better to select it now. So I just use one color for that. So later in my online gallery system, which is PicTime, I can filter through those images that I selected. And once this is done, it's time to get these photos in the gallery. And here's kind of where my personal workflow is not necessarily the fastest, because right now, I export my images to my hard drive, I upload them to PicTime from the disk, and then I move entire thing to my archive system. And the other way of doing things, and I personally did that for a while, was publishing straight from Lightroom to my PicTime gallery using their plugin. So PicTime has this plugin that allows you to upload images straight from Lightroom. Doing that has many benefits, but the best one, in my opinion, is the one that you can re-edit your photos in Lightroom after the gallery is published, and then you just submit the changes and they will automatically reflect in the gallery. But for me, since I started doing little video animations for my photos, and I have sometimes hundreds of photos that I just create in one animation, I actually prefer to export the photos manually, create those animations, and upload everything via browser. And since I kind of never re-edit the photos for my clients, I'm not missing that feature. But for most of photographers, I'd probably recommend going with PicTime plugin for the speed and for the workflow. So my entire project folder now contains raw photos folder, culled photos folder, so the pics, what I call the final JPEGs and the videos, and I take that entire folder and move that to my archive system, and now I'm done. And while this is what I've been doing for years, I'm used to that. I have my brain, I have my brain trained to doing a lot of things manually. Here's where things get interesting and what I've been experimenting in the recent weeks and months, actually. So since the entire development of the AI features, we do have a lot of opportunities to automate our workflow and take it to the next level. So let me share with you my experimental workflow, maybe to inspire you, maybe so you can think about how you can change your workflow. This one is not final because it lacks the hands-on approach, but for some of you, it might be the way to go. So step one is going to be automatic import of your cards to the hard drive, and we already have that solution I mentioned, UT2. It's not the fastest. It's not going to copy the files in 4 minutes or anything like that, but it can happen without your computer, and it can just happen. So you can literally put in the cards, press the button, put it in your backpack, and it will make the copy. Step two, I actually wrote a little script and a shortcut for my Mac that will detect whenever I connect the UT2 to the network, and it will automatically copy all the new raw files from UT2 to my inbox folder on my Mac. Meaning I now can come back home, I can just plug this one to my network and leave it, and photos will automatically get copied into my Mac. Step 3. Epic Workflow app, the one by Sam, has a feature of monitoring a set folder on Mac. So it's monitoring a folder on a Mac, in my case, the inbox folder, and it automatically picks all the new photos. It calls them, meaning tagging picked images. It sends the called set to my Imagine account. It gets them edited, and it gives me back the XMP files that I can just load directly to Lightroom with all the edits. And those 3 steps can happen overnight after the wedding. Meaning, I wake up the next day, I open my Lightroom, I load the photos processed by Epic Workflow and Imagine, and I start working on tweaking process and final editing. And you can take it even farther, because alternatively, you could have the photos sent directly to PicTime Gallery from Imagine if you don't need the hands-on approach like I do. And this is already a working workflow. This is not me thinking that it would be nice to have that. This is already working. I call it experimental because I still prefer manual approach to many things, more hands-on process for parts of the workflow. But I know this is the future of the way high volume photographers will handle the events. Maybe for less personal events, like not weddings, just like corporate events. It's going to be like game changer, but still it's pretty wild that this is the world we'll live in right now. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Check all the links in the description, and thanks so much for watching. I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.